I love you more than you will ever know. And I imagine holding your hand whenever we walk across streets, rocking you to sleep in a bed made of promises I intend to keep. Promises like, I promise I won't forget about you, Brandon. And I promise to remain your friend even when you're too far away for our secret handshake. I remember when you performed for the first time, trembling with a 7-minute long poem clenched in your fingers. Oh my, how you progressed. Who would have guessed that you, a baby bunny sapling, would grow into one of the rabbit's biggest trees? I bet the air is cleaner in the canopy. You wizard of wordplay, I finally understand what the word obnoxious means because you said it so many times during the first 6 months I knew you. And for real this time, let's Skype. But only after you get loose your pants. Brandon, I remember when
I was your kryptonite, and you were my Superman. Together, we were impossible, but together we made music. It sounded like fire burning on ocean waves, emotions too big to explain. We never actually wrote poetry. We lived it every day. It brought life to our friendship. It created the dialogue of our souls. Our words turned into leaves and bridges, putting reality on hold. Brandon, the second you bulldozed your crooked smile into my iceberg life, I knew it's a long walk to forever, but I know we'll make it someday. Brandon, I remember when.
I remember when I got to feel your boobs. You have nice boobs. And your smile. You have a smile that makes sunsets blush and angels swoon. And then one time on Ring Road when we had a serious conversation, when you listen, you get this look in your eyes that quietly says, I love you, and I am listening. Brandon. I remember when.
I remember when I first met you, bright-eyed and smiling, always smiling. You shook my world with yours, your porcelain teeth wrapped themselves around my axons, never knowing that you would introduce me to a world I never knew existed. But I realized I didn't exist until I met the rabbits, and I love you in words that I can never write. And I'm sure I owe you my thoughtful life, so I'll thank you in smiles as long as you keep smiling. Brandon.
I remember when. Brandon, you first hit the stage, and you made me want to be bilingual. My first language, English, your first language, poetry. And everything you said up there inspired me to take a hammer and chisel to my written word, carve the letters straight out of marble, bust them to dust, only to have them settle as syllables on sound waves. A solemn simulacrum, no longer a stagnant statue. Brandon, I cracked the textbook of spit, not to learn the language of a foreigner. Find the courage to step up on stage and speak the language of a brother. Brandon, I remember when.
I remember when you displayed your affections for me and made them not so secret. But Brandon, when I first saw you spit, it gave me hope that Cinderellas can change gender with nothing but V-necks and sweatpants. You have the spirit of a dungeon dragon. Once I saw you expose your skeletons, and then I learned that it should never be a regret to make love with your pen and make words your passion, that it was okay to be a motherfucking radical, you creative creature. Brandon, I remember when.
You and Kevin Mai and I all got into a car together and went to Ink Slam and saw the most talented of poets perform, and they inspired me. Just like you inspired me, Brandon. The way that you sew lines together and attach words like beads on fine string, creating sentences and pieces that are a lot stronger than a line of thread. But instead, like an atomic bomb, because they have the power to affect people's minds. Years and years later on, you are meant for amazing things, to fit your way across life and never give a fuck. And keep on smiling, Brandon. I remember when.
I remember when I first realized our friendship had begun. We were sitting backstage for the biggest show we had ever performed at. We were baby bunnies. Our ears were still small enough that we could hide them. I'm not sure if you realize how much you taught me, so let me take this moment to say you are one of the best teachers I have ever known. You have always inspired me with your passion and innate talent. You are a natural disaster waiting to strike on unsuspecting ears. You are an artist with beautiful chaos in your soul. I cannot wait to see the next shooting stars that your fingertips give rise to, Brandon. I remember when.
I remember when you spit fire to my ears for the first time. All my friends knew about you before you knew me. You slept over that one night because you didn't want to drive home, and we became hella good friends, rapping for hours. And now that you're going to where the word hella came from, I think you're cool, because I'm right there. I love you, man, and I'm sorry I never respond to texts. I remember when.
From Miguel Mendoza. I remember you in the beginning. Close my eyes, flash back to the day when your hands were shackled to pages like the gravity of a lack of confidence. I met you at SPA. Freshman orientation never disoriented us more than the 24 hours plus we spent becoming brothers. I guess, sensing who had little bunny ears came natural to those who rocked little cotton ball tails of swag. These days, you redefine definitions of defying gravity. Your voice gives words their wings. You've learned how to fly with that fire in your eye, Prometheus. I cannot wait to see you defy the gods and light up the world with the fire that we burn with. Brandon.
I remember when. I remember when I met you as Mr. Board Member, and then again as the quick-witted texter. I met you as a child in Novella, and once we met on the dark side of the moon. You introduced yourself to me on the beaches of Venice, and again in a dream room where you filled my mind in walls of color. I met you in the moment, and once as a skeptic of my vegetables and unusual soy bodies. And of course, the 12-year-old boy who was fascinated with menstrual cycles. I remember when you changed my life by showing me your passion and pushing me to embrace mine. And I remember the moment I realized that you would continue to change my life merely by existing, because you refused to exist without the promise of a dream and the promise of creation. Brandon, I
remember when uncultivated rabbits became a home. When your earthquake words shook tsunamis into our still waters, you flooded our minds with poetry, dampened our souls with passion, and I knew that we had a combined lineage, with words as building blocks to our DNA, Brandon. This is not our last goodbye. Our history is still yet to come. There's only one thing that can describe what you mean to us. You son of a bitch. Just kidding. I meant family. P.S. Bird shit kill people!